Happy Halloween, everybody. Welcome to Dolt Podcast, a show for men by men that sometimes sleep with other men. I feel like now I'm starting to skip a little bit.
Hang on, I gotta enhance. Enhance.
Like my wife.
Your video is much better.
My dad and his friends are total idiots. Like they can barely wipe their own butt.
Thank you for the intro, my lovely daughter.
Thanks, Olivia. We love you because it's one of the best fucking ones ever.
It's funny. She was there sorting out their candy and shit, and she's like, "So what intro are you using?" And I was like, "Well, we have that rap song, but I forgot what bank I have it in, so I don't even know." And then I was like, "We used to play the video, but sometimes the video gets a little fucking weird." So I was like, "I'll play part of your intro that you read."
Yeah, that's the one with Brady.
Yeah. It's party time, baby. Cheers to my grandmother who passed away on Halloween. Cheers, Betty Brennan. She called her shot. She said,
and this wasn't tonight, okay?
No, she did not die tonight.
Yeah.
No.
All right, just so everybody's clear, and there's not a whole bunch of heartfelt messages and whatever. I mean, we still care about grandparents and shit, but yeah, it just wasn't tonight. But damn, on Halloween, huh?
My grandma, my whole mom's side of the family is very spooky. You know, they're white.
It's
they're
what
spooky.
I need some clarification.
You ain't black.
But she, I saw her early October, probably 2011, I believe it was, and no, sorry, 2013, because Tanya was pregnant with Olivia, and she said, "I'm just really sorry, I'm not going to be able to meet your daughter." And I was like,
"Fuck you mean?"
And she's in the hospital, so oh god. So then I was like, well, I mean, you'll see her anyways, and like inferring that she's going to be a ghost and haunt everybody, which is what my grandma would probably do. And then she goes, "No, I think I'm out on Halloween." And Halloween, she died. She called it. She called her shot. Babe Ruth. The Babe Ruth of dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Babe Ruth dying. Was she sick?
I
don't want to dwell on this topic because it's kind of a downer, but I mean, I kind of just
she was sick. She had something wrong with like the lining of her intestines due to some accidents or something like that. And apparently she could have been, I bet you if she would have been sick 10 years later, so if she was sick today, they could have fixed her.
Okay.
But just like the doctor even said, if we try to do surgery, it's like trying to sew together wet tissues. So it's just not going to work. And my grandma was like, "Cool." And she called her shot. We probably saw her on October 10th. And she's like, "I think I'm done on Halloween. That's it." And I was like, "Well, fuck." I was like, "Anyways, you're a bad bitch. I love you." My grandma was awesome. My grandma would go to Red Lobster and stuff like that. And like at the end, when you go to like,
she laugh at all the black people in the back of the room.
she would steal everything. So in my grandma's cabinets, there'd be like Red Lobster salt shakers, like silverware.
You go over and there's the plate with the Red Lobster and the claws, and you're like,
yeah, exactly.
Fancy
I would be like, I took her to not Batavia Down. What's the Hamburg Casino?
Yeah.
I took her there, and you know how me and you are when we gamble. You're way better than me. But like with slot machines, it's hit or miss, and usually it's a miss. You know, she would do this thing where she would touch the slot machine after she hit the button, and ding 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 ding, ding just start winning. So I'm burning through cash, and she walks out winning. Maybe she went there with $20. She's an older lady at the time, as they do. She walks out with like 150. She's like, "Every time I go there, I just win." I'm like, "'Cause you're a fucking gypsy."
Here's $500 of my money. Put it in the machine. Max bet.
No shit.
Get bank.
Yeah. She also told me one time she took me to an arcade, and some kid left their money on a machine. I think it was the Tron video game.
Ooh, Doge in the tank.
And I go, Grandma, we got to go turn this in. And she goes, listen to me. If someone is smart enough, she goes, if someone is stupid enough to leave their money, you have to teach them a lesson and keep it.
Yeah.
Which is like,
it's awful, but it's also genius at the same time.
That kid learned a lesson.
Yeah.
The rest of that kid's life, he's like, I need to know where my cash is. I did that kid a favor, and I got to play Tron a lot more.
Yeah.
Well, it's Halloween. This struck me today.
Is this while you were taking a shit?
No, that's the other part. I was looking at slutty Halloween girls when I was taking a dump. It's hard to get your
remind you of something.
Post pee shit out when you have kind of a boner.
Yeah,
that's a little rough.
Yeah.
Did you ever piss underneath the toilet seat onto your own legs?
Yep, it's happened.
Yeah, been there. Been there today.
Yeah. All of a sudden, you're like, why are my calves warm? What the fuck? And then you're at work and there's pissed on the back of your pants.
This was these are dry wick pants, so needless to say, I did not change because it wicked off. I was wicking off on the shitter. It occurred to me today that Halloween's a trackable holiday, like a life signpost growing up, much like Christmas is. Thanksgiving is always kind of the same. You get up, you smell the stuff, you watch some football, and that's it.
The night before, go to sleep.
Yes, the night before Thanksgiving is a trackable thing, and this is what I mean by that. Phil, what's up? Happy Halloweens. Happy Hallowweenner. The night before Thanksgiving means nothing to you when you're a kid, but it means everything to you when you're 21.
Why is that, Chris?
Because that's the go out and get drunk night.
That's amateur night.
Yes. Yeah.
What is now known as amateur night.
Halloween has 3 cycles to it, maybe 6 cycles through it. Number 1, kid, candy. Number 2, kid, shaving cream eggs.
Mischief. Yeah.
Mischief. Tomfoolery, if you will.
Correct.
Number 3, don't want to do it anymore. Don't want to dress up. I'm 15. I'm too cool. Number 4.
Wait. Okay. All right. So you said there's 3 stages, but now we're on stage 4.
Maybe now 7. Yeah. Now it's 7.
I'll have to go back and
I missed
double check that.
A lot.
Chris is having a nice bowl of loudmouth soup. So
it's my first bourbon in 31 days, guys.
So this is going one of 2 ways tonight. We are either doing 1 hour and a half show till about 11:30, or we're going to do a show from 10 to 11. Take a quick piss break, refill drinks, and do 11 to 12. It's up to Chris. He wants to go out drinking tonight.
No, I don't. I'm good. I'm home.
It's up to him. So
the lady works early in the morning, so I am a homebody tonight.
Yes, I have to pack. I need to take my daughter to school at 7:15. I need to go to Vinny's and have a couple beers.
Sure.
I need to go to Springville, jump in a truck, and drive to Ann Arbor for 6 hours tomorrow.
So number 4 is I don't want to do it. I'm too old for it.
Yes.
Okay. Number 5 is I'm 21 and I never knew that women would dress like this.
I want to bang the slutty pumpkin.
Everyone wants to fuck a nun for some reason. It's a whole rigmarole.
Yeah.
You know?
I have never felt the urge to bang a witch more in my life.
Dude,
you know?
You sound like this guy I know. He lives in New Jersey. So
as soon as it came out, I'm like, I know where this is going.
Number 6, I would say, is you get a house and you're kind of excited as a young adult with a house to hand out candy to passerbys.
It goes one of either way. It's either you're in and you decorate your house. You don't half-ass it. You don't go full on fucking.
You don't go Tim Allen, Tim the Tool Man. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't go that far, but you do throw decorations up and enjoy hanging candy. Jesus Christ, candy out to children and adults.
Number 7 would be you have kids and you do the initial passerby. They're too young to trick or treat, but it's cute to dress them up like a fucking strawberry or whatever the fuck you dress them up as. And that's it. I'm in number 7. Now I'm in number 8. Number 8 is they want to go trick-or-treating. You're going to walk around. You bring them there, and then you hear them complain that they got to walk. I just threw up in my own mouth. Thanks, Bourbon.
Welcome back.
But I still think there's a number 9 to it. Number 9 would be they're old enough to go by themselves. Maybe you drop them off in the neighborhood, and then you hang out with some people you know in the neighborhood or whatever.
Yeah.
But we don't have housing developments, like East Aurora, like when I was a kid, you walk up and down your block and you hit 30 fucking houses, everybody, and you're all good, and you got a pillowcase full of candy.
Yeah.
North Carolina, the neighborhood we lived in before I moved, you hit one street and there's live bands. It was a ruckus. But I think, living in number 8's a little disconcerting too, because you're like, Miles he had to work today, and his son is 6, and his son was like, why are we walking so much? How come we didn't drive? We go to the same street every year for the 5 years I've been here. Officially, I've been in this house for 5 years as of today, oddly enough.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Can't wait to sell it. And
You're
move again.
You're never leaving.
So I do wish that there was a neighborhood where we knew people, where we would have, the adults would have an adult hangout party, have some beers, do some shots, make some poor decisions. Maybe you fuck a witch in a closet. I don't fucking know. I don't know.
On a beach.
I don't know. Did I say witch or bitch?
You said
if it was a bitch, it would be, yeah, okay, cool.
We go to an area up here. It's technically Amherst. So we dropped Ob off because her and her friends were going to trick or treat by her friend's house, which is right behind where I used to live on Harlem.
Okay. Yeah.
Back behind her little friend lives there. They dressed up, the 3 of them, they're all volleyball girls, as Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Cool.
Easy.
Yeah.
Simple, kind of creative costume.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of cool idea. So they went there. We grabbed our Brady, and then we headed up to Amherst. And it's a street called Darwin. It runs between it runs basically between Cleveland Drive down to Kensington.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know the street. Yeah.
And then you're just driving. Once you're going through Cheektowaga, you're just kind of going through regular houses like mine.
It's kind of like Coach's neighborhood ish. Not the same neighborhood, but built the same way. Yeah.
Yes. And then as soon as you cross Kensington, you're in Amherst. Yeah. And the houses get big.
Yeah. Now they're giving out fucking.
We're going down. We only got three full size candies.
Yeah.
There, but they're very liberal with their candy. A lot of times, like Brady tonight was. I couldn't say enough good things to him today about how well he behaved. He walked up, said trick or treat. He said thank you. He said happy Halloween. He said I like your dog. Everybody was replying to me. He got extra candy because one time, like, this gang of kids ran across the yard and barged into the door, and Brady stepped off the side because he hates crowds. Let all those kids go, a dozen of them. And he stepped back, and the lady gave him 2 big bags of candy, which had like Hot Wheels cars in them.
Sick.
Here, stuffed them in his pumpkin and shit.
You're the trick-or-treater of the night, dude. Yeah.
Well, the thing was, I teach my children, you do not walk across people's yards ever. If the guy says, if the houses are close and the guy says, hey, come on over, whatever, then sure. Other than that, down the sidewalk, around the driveway, back up, and you knock on the door or ring the
same
doorbell.
Experience today, dude. There was this development that I wouldn't even call it development. This house we go to, it was as scary as I remember, but it's okay. This place we go to, it's kind of a private street, but people kind of know about it.
Yeah.
So we park in Tanya's friends. I guess they're my friends too, but Tanya runs with this girl all the time. So we park in their driveway, but most people don't have the luxury of knowing someone that lives on the street.
Yeah.
So they drive from house to house. The most annoying thing about it is you got small kids. They don't give a fuck about what's behind them. They don't give a fuck about what's in front of them. My son's dressed in an inflatable dinosaur costume, sweating his dick off. The window that he can look through is completely fogged up. And
what's the weather like down there tonight?
Dude, like for the last week, it was
like tonight.
70, 80s tonight. I would say 68 degrees.
Yeah, it was literally about 73 degrees when we were out. I was in shorts and flip-flops.
Yeah.
Everybody had fires in their driveway. everybody was sitting outside, everybody was drinking.
Yeah.
And it was cool about that because I had my work cooler, my lunch box loaded with fucking Busch Light pounders and ice blocks. And first house we come to, there was 2 old lesbian ladies out there drinking.
You're late to the game, Phil, though. Fuck you, son.
They were drinking Busch or big ass tall blue lights. And they're like, you got the right idea. You're drinking. I'm like, we've been coming here for like 8 years now. Yeah. And I go, it's to the point where I'm like, I watch the girls walk around with their glasses of wine. The dudes drinking beer. They have a wagon with a cooler. Their kids are running around.
Yeah, you kind of make it a party.
And I'm like, fuck it. So I am legit drinking beer now. And walking around in every house. Everybody was outside today giving out candy. Rarely was there somebody indoors. They were at least sitting on their front steps, at least sitting in a chair.
Yeah, because it was such a Buffalo could go one or two ways, man. Buffalo could be
last year it snowed, dude.
80-mile-an-hour fucking wind, and it's 34 degrees out.
Yeah.
And
it was 37 degrees last year, and it rained, and then it turned into snow. And my wife and sister and her sister were singing Christmas carols as it was snowing while we're doing that. And tonight I'm in shorts and a fleece drinking beers. Everybody had a fire going. It was cool. We did a million more houses than we normally do just because it was a nice night.
Sure.
And we walked by one house and they were playing EDM song that I knew. And I'm fucking just fist pumping, walking down the sidewalk. I go, these are my, I even left because they were at the house behind us. And I went over to their house and I just stood by the speaker, fucking just drinking my beer. And they're like, what's up? And I'm like, dude, I love this. This is a great song. They're like, yeah, we got to turn up the party tonight. And I'm like, I'm never leaving here.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we're looking at these houses and they're fucking huge for Amherst and they're stuffed in side by side by side. I'm like,
yeah,
but they all have their garages are set behind the house. They have long driveways, huge fucking 2,500 square foot houses. And I told Chris, I said, I would not mind living here because I wouldn't go trick or treating. I'd be the one with the fire, the table, all the fucking candy, playing music or running my DJ shit.
Shot wheel.
Hey, you know what? Parents, you come up. Would you like a beverage? I have a cooler full of beer and I have wine. I will pour you a glass of wine, whatever. One lady tonight asked her and her husband, she's like, would you like a warm cider drink? And I'm like, I wouldn't. And Chris is like, oh, no, thank you. And she's slamming my fucking beers. And I go, my wife's not going to ask, so I'll ask. I'm like, I would gladly like one of those for my wife. And she starts making it and she goes, everybody's been saying I've got a heavy pour. Like my wife. And I'm like, they're like, we have whiskey or vodka. I go, she can't have whiskey. She gets real mean. And they're fucking dying laughing. The vodka is bloop, bloop, bloop. And then they had a crock pot and had like a warm caramel cider in it.
That's the fucking way to go about it. Yeah. A little cinnamon.
She swished it up and she handed it to me. I'm like, thank you so much. And I had to fucking go 3 houses down now to catch Krista.
Sure.
Like, here's your fucking drink. She's like, I don't know this room. I'm like, bitch, drink it. She took a sip of it and her eyes lit up. She goes, this is fucking amazing.
Yeah. Yep.
You're welcome. But people are just always, here's a beer. You want a beer? And I'm like, it's the coolest area. I'm like, if I could afford a house, I mean, every house up there is going to be $400,000.
Sure.
I'm like, fuck though. But I'm like, I would decorate. I'd party. I think one of your doors is open somewhere.
Yeah, I had Moe's today.
Attaboy.
And when I fart, it's because of homos.
Oh, you know what I'm doing? Starting tomorrow. This is gonna suck a dick.
What are we doing? Is it a challenge? Is it a November challenge?
Yeah.
No come November?
No
come November?
No.
I know that just went 31 days without coming.
It's a sugar. Trying to eliminate sugar. No burgers, no chips, no ice cream, no fast food, no chocolate, no white bread, no pop, no cakes, donuts, no cookies, candy. It's a 14-day. It's a 14-day thing, but I'm gonna do it for
sidebar. Can you have like Diet Coke?
I don't drink pop at all.
I know. Yeah.
I will every great once in a while. If we're out to eat, I'll get a root beer and I'll only drink part of it.
Dude, when you're hungover though, and you have a cold Diet Coke in the fridge, and
Chris
you just
is the same way.
It just resets.
So the only thing that's gonna fuck me is the burger and the white bread because I'll come home from the gym and I'll make a ham sandwich. So Chris is like, well, I got like a wheat bread. So I'm like, I don't know if that counts.
No, it sucks. Can you go Jewish rye?
What about regular rye?
No, you got to go with the juice.
Jewish rye's fine.
Yeah,
Jewish rye. You don't put those in a toaster, right?
You do. They burn really quick.
Scream makes a lot of noise.
Well, it's weird because you gotta pry their gold teeth out because of Hitler.
But the candy thing gets me because at work I eat candy.
Yes,
like, there's a lady. When I go to lunch, there's a lady with this huge bowl of candy, and I usually just grab handfuls of it and I take it back to my desk and I'll fucking munch on part of it and save the rest.
Dude,
but
here's the trick.
And with no sugar, I'm like, beer's full of it, right?
It's carbs that turn into sugar.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to just absolutely drop down like my beer intake. Like at the tailgate Saturday, I think I'm gonna drink like vodka water. Yeah. Oh yeah. So Phil, I buy some maple syrup off him. He drops it on my desk. I'm like, all right. So I'm like, you want some cash? He's like, sure. I'm like, all right, I'll leave it. I
want some Phil syrup. Can I get some of that when I come up?
You come up, yeah, we'll get it for you. So I roll up his $26 and I put it in this little fucking plastic bag and I fold the end over and I staple it. Then I put it in a bigger plastic bag, staple. And I just kept doing it. It was a fucking Russian nesting doll by the time I was done. Then I taped over.
Yeah.
I taped over all the fucking staples and I got an envelope and I wrote his name on it and I left it for him. So then I asked one of the guys, I'm like, Phil, come get his money. He's like, yep. I'm like, all right, cool. So I go in my personal work drawer. It says my name, personal drawer, as in nobody else should go in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I open it up and I look down and I got a little sandwich bag full of candy sitting there and something didn't look right. And I'm like, oh, I must have put an empty bag right back inside of it. I'll throw it out, whatever. And I closed my drawer and I went back to work. And then at like 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to go over to open my drawer to get something out to log into the computer. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I reach in there. Phil took fucking packing tape, pulled out all my candy, fucking wrapped it up like that Christmas ball. You know, I was like,
that's great.
Fuck you. Well played. Bravo. Played.
Yeah, that's good.
Tried to stop me from eating candy thing, but yeah. So I'm like, I'm gonna try to lower my beer intake for a month.
Yeah,
and, I get it. You know, I mean, I should be able to stop most of that. Burgers is gonna be the worst thing. Not that I eat a lot of them, but
but when you're hungover,
that's
when it hits.
Yeah, like tomorrow, by the time I get to Ann Arbor and we settle in, we go out to dinner. I'm like, I'm gonna want a fucking burger, but I'm like, I'm gonna get something different.
So let me ask this question though. So you can do we can do the mott sticks.
Yeah, here, I'll even
because Daddy likes some mott sticks when he gets a little angry. Like you have a legit mott stick problem,
dude. I love them.
They're really good. As an adult, though, I don't think you can order those at a restaurant.
Why?
Because you're not a child.
Really?
Yeah. I was at a place and all I wanted. So they don't make chicken subs down here or chicken finger subs down here.
They don't make that place. I know. A dick, dude.
They don't make chicken finger subs in Raleigh either. So I'm at a bar like fucking 4.5 years ago with Miles, and I was like, I want chicken fingers, shook in hot sauce, and Frank's Red Hot. That's what I want. Yeah. I was just craving it. Knowing if I said, can I have a chicken finger sub, they'd look at me like I have 3 fucking heads. So I order it, and Miles goes, are you a child? And so that stuck with me. Like, I'm like, I didn't know that adults couldn't do that. I think chicken fingers are acceptable. Mott sticks, not acceptable. However, I don't give a fuck. I still order mott sticks.
Where do you order mozzarella sticks? Vinny's, a place like that is acceptable.
There's nothing like Vinny's around here. Nothing.
Oh, you got real classy places, huh?
Yeah, Chili's. Chili's has the big mott sticks, the ones that are like wedges of cheese. Yeah.
I like Applebee's, like in that fucking.
Our only Applebee's went out of business recently.
Oh, that platter thing that you can build your own thing, whatever, with all little snacks. I'll get mozzarella sticks there. Other than that, I'll get them at Vinny's or whatever. If I need a filler, like
Michigan when we're hungover and or still drunk.
I was telling Krista about that the other day. I'm like, when we were up there, Friday night we were out drinking and we left. We were waiting for our Uber, and there's a Jimmy John's across the street. And I've never had Jimmy John's, but I was drunk and I was hungry.
Yep.
And instead, I'm standing on the fucking side of the road eating a cookie from a cookie shop. Big ass chocolate chip cookie. And wobbling around, and I got fucking chocolate all over my face. I look like a fucking drunk toddler. And I'm yelling across the street to Garrett and his girlfriend, who was waiting for their Uber. And all of a sudden, we're like, I want Jimmy John's.
Yeah.
And, there's a Jimmy John's next door to our hotel, but they're closed. I'm like, it's just, you get to that drunken point, and you're literally ready to eat shit. Like, we ended up at fucking Taco Bell across the street.
Castle.
I'm not. White Castle would have fucking murdered if I could have got one.
Yeah.
But we ended up at Taco Bell, and I've never eaten at Taco Bell. One night in Columbus, they took us to Taco Bell.
There's no need
ordered
to
me
eat
all this food.
There's no need to eat at Taco Bell when you live in Buffalo because of Mighty Taco.
Yes, correct. But I'm in a different city.
Sure.
Like in Columbus, they come back, and I open up my tacos, and it all had fucking shredded lettuce all over it. And I'm like, I'm throwing these in the garbage. They're like, what? I'm like, I ain't fucking eating these.
The way to go if you don't like shredded lettuce is to go with the bean tacos. They're cheaper.
I just got a beef and cheese taco.
Yeah.
Burrito or something, whatever, 3-pack. But I'm like, that night, all I kept saying was, I wish we would have fucking walked around the corner and got a pizza from the pizza place that Chris and I don't remember eating the pizza from, but it had to be good because all that was left was like 8 pieces of crust in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't remember ordering that pizza. I don't remember walking out with it. I don't remember eating it.
Yeah.
I just remember waking up that next morning hungover as fucking, seeing an empty pizza box going, what the fuck?
The amount of control it took for me not to karate kick pizza out of your hand as a goof.
Dude, I'm glad you didn't, because I might have went fucking Hulk rage on you. And I also had to defend your behavior too.
When?
I was talking, me and Chris were talking about coming up there because you were like, "Oh, I'm on my way," or "I want to go this year," or whatever. And I'm like, "Oh, I think we're done after tonight or this weekend."
Was great.
And that's what I said. I said Chris was on his best behavior. He was amazing at the fucking tailgate. He was not out of line. We had a good time. People were drinking with us, laughing with us.
The people behind you still ask about who? Me.
You, because you fucking gave one of them a boner and one of them was doing fucking Rain Man math skills later that night.
Yeah.
Whatever.
We played secret pocket roulette with either dick pills or Mexican Ritalin. and they wanted to play.
And I said he was good at the game. I said that dude was behind us the other night, last weekend. He'll be there tomorrow or Saturday. And I'm like, Chris was good. I says, even at the bar, we went to the Blue Leprechaun. We were downstairs drinking. We went through all the bars. We were upstairs. And I said, right at the end of the night, I saw the look in his eyes because he said something to the bartender and she looked at me and I'm like, whatever he just said, don't do it.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? And I'm like, what did you just order? And you start giggling. You're like 2 Dos Equis and shots of fucking Tres Amigos fucking tequila. I'm like, we don't need any of that. We'll take 2 more Busch Lights, close our tab, and we're done. And your eyes were they looked like fucking Jigsaw from Saw.
Do you want to play a game?
And I'm like, if that's the worst he was, I'm like, that I could handle all weekend.
Well, how about
Chris
this?
Was very on his best behavior.
I was on great behavior.
Yes,
and we were not talking shit, like fighting, talking shit, but we were talking shit to the Asian kid and the people at the corner of the bar.
Yes.
And then you went to the bathroom and we're like,
no, you weren't talking shit. You were just saying how beautiful his hair was or something.
Yeah. Like, that's what I mean. Like just shooting the shit. Sorry, not talking shit.
Yeah,
but and then they came over. You went to the bathroom or something. You went away for a minute. I was like, we need to all fucking do shots. And when you came back, I'm like, I want fucking this, I want that, and they're gonna get that. And then you're like, hold up. And I was like, no, we have a plan. Yeah. Me and fucking the Asian figure skater, we have a plan.
Yeah.
And you're like, we're just gonna do 2 Busch Lights. I'm like, all right. I didn't know he finally came out of the closet. He's gay as shit. Sorry, no offense to you, Asian.
We ended up doing shots with those guys, though.
We did. Yeah. We did.
They were fucking amazing too.
They were great. They were great.
We were like you said, we weren't shit talking, but we were having a good time throwing a couple jabs and things were coming back and forth. And then we were just complimenting his hair or his eyes and how good looking he was. And we're like, none of you guys are going to get it. How's it feel like this Asian dude with this beautiful head of lettuce is going to get all the puss tonight?
Yeah. It was like, you're so hot. You look like a chick.
And then it was like, his buddy's like, either one of you guys gay? We're like, no, we're fucking straight. We're fucking married. We have kids. Yeah. I go, we're drunk and having a good time. And I go, we're also old enough to be your fucking parents.
Yeah.
So you guys want to do shots? Let's do shots.
Yeah. I made friends recently at a bar. No way. You know, sometimes you're just sitting there, and for me, I need to get out of the house. I don't talk to people. So for me, my kind of like dopamine release is to go sit, and there's some people I know. I'm kind of a regular, and I know other regulars and shit like that. But these other guys show up that I've never seen before, and they're good fucking dudes. And we start shooting the shit, and they start asking me like business advice and what would you do this or how would you do that? The EDM guys.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, at the end of the night, I set up my tab. I'm like, hey man, good seeing you. They're like, hey, can we get your number? Like, we want to know a little bit more about stuff. And we have questions. I'm like, if you ever have a question at all, just ask me before you do anything dumb. Just ask me. I've done cool shit. I've done shit where I completely failed. Feel free to reach out. And the one dude pulls me aside, and I think you probably have this experience too. You kind of mentally are the same age of the people that you're talking with.
100%.
If I'm talking to a 70-year-old guy that I hang out with sometimes,
I'm also very mature.
Canada, yeah. Or if I'm talking to like fucking like 20-year-olds, I just all think we're all the same age. From 20 to 70, I just think we're all the same age.
I like that playing field gets evened.
Yeah.
And I start asking them about things that are relevant in their lives and music that they would listen to, or things that have happened in their time. You know, like, you know, hey, what's it like being 27 years old and never seeing the Bills in a playoff game? You know, we can talk about sports and just like shit like that, you know?
Yeah.
And
so I'm getting ready to leave. I set up my tab. I, you know, give them the fucking, like whatever this handshake is, you know,
dap.
Yeah. I dab them up, you know?
Is it dap or dab?
It's probably dap.
Okay. I'm not sure. Because I think dab is the.
Is it Pam?
Pan?
This,
Pam. I think that's dab.
Oh, okay.
I told Brady if he ever fucking does that to me, by the time he pulls his hand away from his eyes, he's going to be laying on the ground because I'm going to sweep both of his legs.
This is missing in modern parenting, is the threat of parental abuse. Period.
That got brought up tonight real quick.
Hold on. Well, let me land the plan on this one.
Yep.
I'm on point right now. Thanks, Bourbon. You're welcome, Chris. I'm getting ready to leave, and the guy pulls me aside. He goes, you know, I got to thank you. I'm like, for what, man? Like, it was cool hanging out with you. He goes, not a lot of guys your age would talk to us. And I was like, you fucking cunt. Because to me, I got friends that are fucking 70 years old, and I consider them friends. And when we drink, we drink as friends. I got friends apparently that are 21 years old, and when we drink as friends. You don't need to bring age into it, you know?
No. I can drink with anybody at any age and talk about any sort of topics relative to your age.
Sure.
And if you're going to sit there and be 85 years old and you're a World War II vet or a non-vet, whatever,
sure,
I can sit there and I will ask you questions like I did to Afro Man and let you run with it. And I want to sit there and listen. And I'm still.
I did mention you today. I had my therapy lady at their therapy today, and she does a podcast, and her co-host is leaving, and she's like, it kind of scares me a little bit. And I was like, well, there is a definite benefit to having somebody with you, because when I was interviewing Afro Man, or when we were interviewing Afro Man, I wrote all the questions. I sent the questions to the people. We had some back and forth a little bit. We had some rapport, and I sit down full on ready to fucking interview Afro Man. And Afro Man and Daryl hit it off completely. And I had to be like, in my brain, and obviously this is there on the episode, our third most popular episode, by the way, which you would think it would be number one with a fucking bullet. It was our third most popular. I wanted to jump back into the arena. You know, I'm a fucking.
You were just over there fucking itching.
Too much. But the luxury of having you there with me, and you and him are just talking about shit like rap groups I've never heard of in my fucking life. It was fucking great.
Seeing the look in his eyes when he was talking about West Coast rap, and I'm talking about Too Short, and I'm telling you who Too Short's name is, that I love Todd Shaw, and I have all his first 9 albums, and I was naming them off and listening to E40 and the Oakland groups and everything. You could right then, he's like, this white boy has listened to some rap shit.
Yep.
And it's not mainstream. He's expanded. So him and I mean, I was nervous as fuck. I was outside pacing, waiting for him to show up. And then I was I didn't even want to talk to him.
I don't think I was nervous to talk to Afro Man, but
I was.
What's weird is they made such, I'm going to try to say a word, and I got my finger on the button. The specificity of trying to adhere to the list. That's a word.
Okay.
Specificity.
I could not get that out right now.
Thank you. Of trying to adhere to the list that they gave me, that they approved, and then you guys are talking about fucking Too Short. So to me, it was like, it's not on the list. He's gonna get up and walk, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, he's a dude.
He just all of a sudden he leaned back in his couch and his leg crossed, and he grabbed his chalice, and you're like, and then you're over there fucking, and I'm like, calm down, I got this.
Yeah. So I was like, there's a
complete role reversal at that moment.
To me, there's a massive luxury of having another person to be with, you know? But what's weird is like, apparently my therapy sessions have turned into me coaching her on how to interview people and be a podcaster. So
this one's free, right?
I was like, and you're still going to charge me for what? I told you the kind of panel. So I'm going to redo this wall, and I saved what I bought. So when you move into your house, we can have the same wall behind us.
I sent you that. That link. That was kind of fucking cool for that, you know?
Yeah, it's awesome.
One dude's niche. How do you say that word? Niche?
I think if you say niche, you're a cunt. So I say niche.
I say niche too, like a nook. Well, that was his niche. That was his area. That was his type of thing. People were shitting on it. But
hold on.
Everybody else is like, wait a second, man. This is what that dude likes, and this is what he's about. How do you shit on that? You don't.
Yeah.
Just because it ain't your cup of tea.
Niche to me is something that you like. That's something you hang your head on. Niche is a type of art. Like Picasso's a niche. Nook is where I try to stick my dick all the time, and ladies
and dudes and inanimate objects, you know.
And apparently Nook and crannies come together. I don't know where the crannies come from. I don't know where the cranny is.
Those are trannies.
I was hoping you'd go there because I was gonna go.
You know what I was going first? I was going to grannies first. And I was like, wait a second, trannies plays even better.
Let's pivot just a click over it. So no, it was
dude, just watching it. I mean, I don't listen to podcasts, I don't watch that shit, but I do see clips, and the people that can do this by themselves, which I think you could, I could never. Like, if you're like, all right, man, to show, and I'm like, I need somebody over here to talk to. I need to bounce things back and forth. If I'm sitting here staring at myself, I'm like,
well, I said today, well, we have an impromptu podcast. I had one planned just to keep putting things live. I was going to do one by myself. And she's like, well, what was your topic? And I was like, well, everyone is complaining about movies that are being remade. Just the other day, Kyle sent me something. Kyle from North Carolina, Kale. He sent me something. He said that they're remaking Tombstone. And the first thing I did was like fucking roll my eyes, like, here we go. And they're like, Matthew McConaughey is going to play fucking Doc Holliday. If anyone could do it, he could do it. But then I started looking more into it. I think it's all fucking fake and stuff like that. But where we live right now, all they do is remake movies. So the whole show that I was going to do, which I told you about, was let's not complain about the movies that they keep remaking. Let's start pitching movies that should be remade. And I could have done 45 minutes, an hour by myself. It might have been boring as fuck. Maybe no replies. Maybe I just do it without anybody. I wouldn't do it live, probably. I don't know.
Yeah, but just sit down there and record it and
throw it out there.
Yeah.
But I was totally comfortable doing an hour. But today I was like, yeah, we have this. He said he's available on Thursday. He's not available on Friday. So we're just going to do it tonight. She's like, what are you going to talk about? I'm like, I don't fucking know.
I know Chris
we're 41 minutes into it. And we haven't gotten to one thing I thought about.
No. Sometimes those are the better ones. You just fucking start rolling shit off the cuff. I mean, we obviously know what's going on. Yeah. Nook and trannies. There's obviously a million things going on in the world that we can discuss right now. And, you know, sure, would I like to spend 6 hours tomorrow night doing this? Yeah. I fucking bitch and complain about it after I wake up on Saturday and say, what the fuck were we doing? But I'm like, listen, it's Halloween night. I'll be home and we had our food and everything. I'll be ready to go by 9 o'clock. I said, I can't be down here all night. But I said, if you want to do a live show, I'm in because I'm going to be out of town tomorrow.
Well, I have some great news. For a long time, I was looking at the Spotify audience as a total audience. And apparently, the Spotify audience that we have is 8% of our total audience. So we're a lot bigger than I thought we were.
I get that question so much, dude. And a lot of people shit on me and they're like, oh, you fucking the podcast, nobody listens to. You know, I really don't care. I get to get drunk with my best friend from 1,200 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
We get to talk. We get to laugh. We get to do some sexual and racial innuendos that we usually couldn't get away with.
No. And
a lot of them are funny as fuck. And I know people are like, you guys just... We don't have a niche. Everybody asks, I'm like, you guys do a podcast. All right, what do you do it on? Because everything is specific.
Yeah.
Is it a horror one? Is it a sports one? Is it about books? Is it about true crime? No, motherfucker. We talk about current events, shit that's happened in our lives. We get obnoxiously drunk and we laugh a lot.
Yeah.
And then I went back and I'm telling you, I barely go back and watch the shit. But if I wake up in the morning and I see texts from between you and me about holy fuck, that was insane.
Yeah.
I go back and I'll watch it. And the one episode, I don't know, a month ago, I was fucking 4 minutes into it and I had tears pouring out of my eyes. And I'm going, we're actually kind of funny.
Yes.
We don't need to be on all the time. Sure, we talk about some serious shit. And you're a fucking walking goddamn history book and shit, and it's watching you spit out dates and facts. And I think we need a fact checker because they're probably some of them are wrong, but you're also...
I'm working on a black Jamie.
You're also very close to the dates if they are wrong, whatever. But I'm like, it is great watching you spout that shit off like this. And I'm interested in some of that, but I don't retain that knowledge. But you do.
So when we have, let's say, Afroman on Spotify that's been listened to 1,500 people have listened to that. That's 6% of our total audience. So to me, I would say, wow, 1,500 people listen to us total. It's 6% of the audience. And then my asshole was like, ooh, like we're...
So it's like... Holy fuck, that's a lot. No, it's more than that.
Yeah, right? It's a lot. I'm getting a beer. Because I can't deal with the fucking pressure.
I can't, that math I can't do. Oh, divided by 6%. So yeah, it'd be 25,000 people. 25,000 people listened to that podcast, that interview with Afro Man. That blows my mind because I listen to my wife ask all the time, how many people? I'm like, I sit here and I'm like, okay, there's 3 people watching. Chris gets to see the people that are watching on Twitch and YouTube and whatever, wherever else this is pushed to. So sometimes that number bumps up to 15 or 20, which is great. We're not Joe Rogan. We're never going to be there. This is what you are listening and watching to the best we're going to have.
Most people do a podcast and edit it down. So they'll do a 3-hour podcast and it's a 55-minute podcast.
Yeah.
We just talk shit.
Yeah.
And for some fucking reason, thousands of people listen to us.
Were you back in time to hear the number?
No.
6% at 1,500 means 25,000 people listen to that episode.
That makes me very nervous.
That makes me like.
Here, I'm going to do this. Ready?
Please take out your eye. Please take out your eye.
This is a Golsch.
Ooh, wow. That's old. Adam. Golsch. Ooh. Double pop?
Yeah. It's from last
week.
I
thought the top was going to fly off. I forgot it's got the little handle there. Nice. Cool.
Well, cheers to you. Apparently close to goddamn 30,000 people that.
At least, yeah.
Maybe somebody should sponsor us. Other than AA and me not buying illegal Adderall. Somebody should. Well, yeah.
I would love that. Dude, you ain't got to throw a shit ton of money at us. Throw a little bit of cash at us. We can talk about your product for 30 days.
Here's what I want from us.
What it is. And if you have a web page and you want to sell some shit, throw a few bucks at us. We will put the link in here and it'll be attached to the podcast. Whatever. We could do that.
I want us to go on the Anthony Cumia Network.
You talked to me about
Anthony Cumia has his own network
from Opie and Anthony.
And it's a free for all. You can say whatever you want. It's a payment gateway.
We've kind of gotten away with that somehow. There's been some shit said here. I cannot believe I keep waiting for it.
Severely throttled by Facebook.
How? Dude, the shit that we've said?
No. Once we started reading off the CDC website.
Oh, yeah.
About the efficacy. God damn it.
That's a tough word to say. I used to see it in all the articles I'd read. I'm like, I can't say that word.
Of a certain thing that happened that corralled our entire economy and then derailed,
not corralled.
Derailed. Yeah. Derailed. You're right. Once we were reading off the website and YouTube said, so YouTube hit us with a strike. So I replied to YouTube. We were reading off the CDC website and copied and pasted what I was reading.
Yeah.
And YouTube still gave us a strike. So we're like literally one more strike away from not being on YouTube at all. Doesn't matter because we don't have a big following on YouTube. So who gives a shit? But
I like it because it's easier for me to go on my TV, go to my YouTube channel, and I follow the show, obviously, and I can see the episodes. And if I want to watch them on my TV, so I still have my phone available to be like,
well, when we were doing Afro Man, we didn't know that they were watching us on, like, we thought everyone left. So we're in this like little area, this fucking makeshift studio garage.
It was literally a garage that was turned into a music studio.
And we thought everyone left, but everyone was watching us on YouTube on the TV in the living room.
And I didn't realize how many people, because the people would come in and out of the garage door, and they're kind of, aside from the sound and video guys and the guys that owned the company and everything that were there, there was like 6 or 7 little bees running around.
Sure.
And then occasionally people would walk through.
And a beer assistant, which is definitely necessary.
We had a beer assistant, which was the fucking greatest thing ever. We're like, beer. And a beer would fucking arrive in our hands. But little did we know, all these people were coming in to this house, parking outside and walking in the front door.
Yeah.
And they were in the living room. We got done when the show ended and we hit the end button. The fucking roar and applause. Both of us are like, and then all of a sudden, I never felt like more of a rock star.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, we are two fucking complete idiots who just got to interview Afro Man, who is D-list fucking rapper. Everybody knows him, but he had a couple hits, and that was that.
Still probably one of the coolest people I've ever met in my entire life.
One of the most amazing people I've ever met. It was so fucking cool that he actually took 2 hours to sit down with us.
Yeah.
And smoke weed with us and drink with us. But we walked into that fucking kitchen, living room, the amount of daps and fucking handshakes and pictures we had to get taken. I was like, what the fuck, dude?
It made no sense.
I pulled you aside. We went out down in the garage and we were talking to one dude and he gave us a little hit of his weed and he was talking to us. He gave us his business card and whatever. And you and I had 2 seconds to talk. I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
Like, do these guys understand we're not that big? And they're just like, I don't know what just happened, but we're rolling with it. I'm like, all right, man.
And my first immediate reaction was, let's get the fuck out of here.
Before they figure out that we're nobody.
I'm wrapping up
those guys at all?
Yeah, still. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I mean, they were phenomenal people. But living in an hour south of Columbus in Ohio, they definitely had that West Virginia accent.
For sure.
It was a complete different dialogue down there. I'm like, I had to slow everything down listening to it.
That is so weird too. Like if you go from Buffalo, which is, I wanted us to be like slutty guys on the TV today. Come on, man.
You did a good job when you sent me that picture.
You go from Buffalo, which is like Western New York. If you go down 50 miles south, everyone sounds like they're from Kentucky. So Buffalo, you go, I want a bagel. Fuck me in the ass.
Yeah.
To they don't think blacks should be allowed to vote. Like it's that crazy.
It was actually weird. Well, there was a black man in their fucking house.
Yeah. With expired plates. They're like, it's fine.
He's driving a Rolls Royce, brand new.
Jesus Christ. What a time.
He was high as fuck when he left.
Mm-hmm.
They're all like, yo, text me or give me a call when you get home. I'm like,
I think his Rolls Royce actually flew out of there because he was so high. I think the way he left that place was like the end of Grease.
Yeah. He backed up as soon as he put it in drive. It was actually W for wings, and it just the way he went.
The coolest guy ever.
Yeah. And I listened to him. He's like, yeah, I got my 40 acres. And he lives in the middle of fucking Podunk place. He bought a farmhouse.
Yeah.
He's like, I got a barn. I got all this fucking land.
And you have his number in your phone.
Yeah. And he goes, he just got on Telegram.
I
have Telegram because it was a COVID thing through work. There was a group, but now it's all conspiracy theorist shit. And I'm like, I'm out. But I was like, all of a sudden I got a message on there one day and like, Afro Man has joined Telegram because it'll tell you anybody in your contacts that joins. It's like some sort of fucking secret texting thing and whatever.
Sure.
But it was great for work because none of the bosses could get into it or see it.
So next year, does Michigan play in Columbus or is it this year?
This year.
Fuck. Yeah. When is it?
2 days after Thanksgiving.
Okay, can't do it. Okay. So in 2 years, we're almost up against our 200th episode.
How do you know? Do you have a counter? Because we don't keep track. We tried to keep track like 3 times. We've done
300. We've done easily 350.
Well, we had to. This has started 4 years ago?
Yes, but I listen to the start of them, and then I go to the middle, and I go to the end, and there's some that are just trashed because what we say is not necessarily good.
Yeah, like a couple weeks ago, that middle episode was.
That one was pushed live, and it said, "Do not listen to this episode," and that one is going up the chart.
Actually, every one of them did.
Yeah,
it was funny as fuck. I'm telling you, you talk about towing the line. We danced all over that motherfucker. We danced a jig all over that.
The what?
Thing.
The what?
You ain't black.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
My mic is picking up.
It was, yeah.
Dude, that's so fucking hard. That was the one I watched, and I was 4 minutes into it. I was at work. I'm like, I cannot watch. I'm off. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like the other day, I was watching Archer at work. And I had it turned up because one dude uses his air nozzle all the time. So I had it cranked up, and the first shift guy comes in. He's like, he hears Archer talking shit. And he's like, what in the fuck are you listening to? I'm like, I'm watching Archer. He's like, what is that? I go, it's a cartoon. He's like, dude, you're 51 years old watching cartoons.
Dude, no, it is.
I'm like, he's a raging alcoholic, secret spy, bumbles his way through everything and is fucking hilarious. Speaking of Archer, there's something I wanted to bring up about a past episode. We have done hottest actresses, shit like that. I think we did an episode on hottest cartoon characters? Because I remember Jessica Rabbit getting brought up, I think.
I do, yes.
Something like that.
She was listed. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out if we mentioned Lana Kent.
I did. I did for sure. Good. Yeah.
And I was like...
Also, I got a little... let's pretend it's okay to be an adult that's attracted to cartoon characters. Circle of trust.
We're in a trust tree, motherfuckers.
It's okay. The other girl that works in the agency.
Cheryl.
Not the fat one.
Cheryl. Pam is the fat one.
Oh, yeah, Cheryl. Yeah. All guys want is a girl like Cheryl.
I love the first time they ended up drunk or whatever. She ended up naked and she's just laying there with her arm across her boobs. And I'm like, she is stacked.
If I was a kid,
oh my God, my socks, I would
like, we had Baywatch.
Yeah.
90210, and
why am I drinking Fireball?
Cause dude, we got to end in 3 minutes.
We're going to do two. Hey, guess what? In 3 minutes, it will literally be 11 o'clock. We literally started the first one on time.
I'm adhering to your schedule. Nuts.
Okay.
You're the Kamala Harris of podcasting.
Oh, fuck off.
I have 2 hours and that's it. And what has come by the presence of what has been. Can you imagine how fucked we're going to be?
If she wins.
If whoever wins, I'm winking.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how fucked we're gonna be?
Yep.
It's gonna
be when I sent you that video the other day, I was like, oh, this fucking makes my dick hard. I didn't say that, but it did, and I figured it'd make your dick hard a little hard too.
Yeah, dude.
Hard a little hard.
Whatever. Not a little hard. Okay.
And then I wake up the next day and I get a text that literally says, I am fucking scared about this election. And I'm like, a lot of people are. And I think a lot of people want a female president right now for all the fucking wrong reasons.
They could have had Tulsi Gabbard.
Yes. And I've said this 100 times. And every time I make this comment, it gets 1 billion likes. I understand you want a female president and there's nothing wrong with that.
Sure.
The right one will come around. And I don't give a fuck if she's Republican or Democrat. The right candidate will come around. That will be good for America as a whole. This cunt is not the one you want.
I'll say right now.
You're evil.
If it was Trump going up against Republican, going up against Tulsi Gabbard, Democrat, who is a woman of color, who has served our country, I would not vote for Trump. I'd vote for Tulsi Gabbard. I just would.
And that's the thing is,
and the Democrat,
I don't see a lot of people that
Tulsi Gabbard, out of being a Democrat, which she was in the Senate as a Democrat.
Yeah.
Lived her life being a Democrat. The problem is Democrats, for some reason, if everything should be down the middle of the road, starting at the 50-yard line, now Democrats are all the way down to their 15, dare I say, maybe the 5.
Yeah.
Moderate Republicans are the Democrats of fucking what, 7 years ago, 8 years ago?
8 years ago.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm going to vote for the orange man that scares everybody. I'm going to vote for him. I'm going to wear my goddamn American flag suit, no shirt. I'm going to go in there and vote. And I'm going to put the sticker up. And I guarantee I'll lose a lot of friends on Facebook and stuff like that. I don't give a fuck, dude.
All right, that's why I put up that post today, just because I wanted to piss some people off. That's all.
Well, and I'm friends with so many people that are extremely liberal, as are you. Yeah. And I respect their views.
Yeah.
But when they post their picture of them voting, and I know who they voted for, I don't unfollow them.
No.
Because I'm not a cunt.
Follow anybody. Yeah.
I'm not a cunt. But I'm going to vote for Donald Trump because I think
Doge going to the moon.
Number one, yes.
Daddy needs to get rich on Doge.
Get out of here on this. I saw every once in a while you see these little reels or memes or whatever the fuck they are. Real, I would say, where it talks about Argentina and like what's the cost of living here, right? Yeah. This one was for Argentina. And it's this guy going, well, what do I pay for rent? I pay $400 a month for rent. And he goes into his condo. It's a 3-bedroom condo in a skyscraper. And it's beautiful. What does an average meal cost? An average meal for an average person there cost $9.50 American. So for you to live in Argentina as an American with American money, which is the byproduct, you got to be able to do what I do or whatever, right? It was $680 a month. So if everything goes to shit with the money that I have saved, I can live there for 47.9 years.
And that's not making any more money. That's what you have right now.
That's with what I have. Now I have a wife and family and kids. I'm sure they're going to do well in America without me, but I'm out. And the other thing too is like, I love Ireland, even though I'm not Irish. Thank you, 23andMe. Ireland is locking up. If you say something bad on social media, you can go to jail for 5 years.
Yeah. We would be in jail.
So they're fucked too. They're fucked too.
Yeah.
We are 8 days away from this podcast not existing.
Yeah.
We could do it on the dark web.
Dude, it's going to be sad watching. I mean, we're in this boat right now with the salaries both my wife and I make. We make pretty good coin, but our heads are barely above water.
Yeah, you're still paycheck to paycheck, man.
And Chris, it's like every time she goes to the grocery store, it's like, this is fucking ridiculous. Yet people are going to vote for 4 more years of this. We can't buy a house right now because first off, all the fucking big companies are buying up all the houses and renting them out, which should be illegal, but it's not because we can't stop it. But we just can't do that. This can't go on anymore. It has to stop.
What's fucked up is like the big corporations that apparently are Republican.
Vanguard, BlackRock, right?
Yeah, which are all on the board of Democratic places and also fund Democratic policies. But whatever. The big corporations, the ones that don't pay their fair share.
Yeah.
Those motherfuckers borrow money at like a 0.5 or 0.1 interest rate. But the average American person, me, great credit, a lot of money in the bank. If I want to go buy something, I'm still going to get an interest rate at what, 6, maybe 5.5.
Yeah.
So how is that fair?
Yeah, it's not
fair. It's not fair. We'll get out of here. We'll stop.
I gotta literally pee and we can come right back.
Yeah, I'm gonna go fill up this. I'm back on the bourbon train, baby.
Attaboy.
We'll get out of here. We'll come right back. And Daryl, keep fucking that chicken, I think is.
Yep.